How's it going, everyone? It's me, Whiplashthesnake here, bringing you another life story. And before you ask, yes, this is How to Fool Boyfriend playing in the background. It's about, it's a school story, so I was looking through my Steam list, and, this was the closest thing that I had to anything doing with school, so I apologize for the strange choice of gameplay. Please forgive me. But no, guys, this one is a pretty funny story, and well, How to Fool Boyfriend is a pretty funny game, and it has to do with school. This was back in my high school time, and during this time, I was in my senior year, you know. Last year of school, I didn't really give a fuck about anything, and unlike a lot of kids from that time, I actually had a full schedule because I picked the rest of my classes for the year like a potato. And so, I'm just gonna get right into it. Alright, at our school we had a long day, a regular day, and then at the end of every day we would have about a 30-minute to an hour break time where we would just sit in our quote-unquote homeroom, and then we would do homework, you know, just relax, talk to people, and, you know, do whatever. But all the time, I would just prefer to not do that, and I would just, you know, walk outside the school, get in my car, and leave an hour early, because that sounds nice, doesn't it? You don't want to stay in school for an extra hour doing nothing. Might as well just go home and do nothing there for an hour. That sounds a lot better to me. And so a lot of days that's what I would do. I would just get up during homeroom, say I was going to another person's class to do some work there, do some quality work, and normally I would just say I was going to my video class to edit and do some stuff there, you know, saved some time, although I did all my editing at home. Basically, video class was just me sitting there watching YouTube for the entire hour. Yeah, it was bad my senior year. Now, normally I would just exit through the gym, go back to my car, and drive the fuck out of there. But on this day, I had decided to invite a friend along with me. You know, good friend, I'll just give him a generic name, John. We decided we were just gonna leave class early that day, you know, not go to homeroom, because why the fuck would we even go there? It's kind of useless anyways, and decided we would just spend the rest of the day hanging out. So I decided, hey, let's just leave homeroom, leave out through the gym. I always take this route. He didn't really have a last class anyway, so he would just normally spend his time in the video class like I said I was going to go to. And he would just sit there watching YouTube videos a lot of the time. But so, we go through the entire school day, we meet up at the time where homeroom's about to start, and we decide, alright, let's just go. And so we walk out towards the gym, you know, go out through the gym, and in this place there's it goes to the gym, and then there's a hallway behind it, and then behind the hallway is all the locker rooms and everything. Now, this hallway goes down through past the gym, past the locker rooms and everything, and it connects the inside of the school, and it connects the outside of the school, to the parking lot. The rest of the school has all these doors locked down, but for some reason, the gym one is always open. You can just leave whenever you want. And since basically every kid knew this, you would just see a mass exodus of every single kid in the school leaving through this hallway at the end of the day during homeroom. Now, obviously, the school didn't like this little system that the kids had set up, you know, homeroom, time to leave. Because, you know, us leaving that 30 minutes or an hour early, it was really a detriment to our education. I mean, how the fuck were we going to spend that extra 30 minutes to an hour? What are we going to do if we are not in school doing our homework, which we are supposed to be doing at home? But so, the teachers caught on to this pretty fast, and by this time I had been doing this thing for about a month, just leaving school early every day, you know, just heading home, enjoying myself. But on this particular day, when we decided to leave together, you know, hang out for the rest of the day, we go to the back of the school, you know, go through the gym, see the door, you know, freedom is right there, the parking lot's right there, car is right there, we just can see it, we can smell it, we can fucking taste it if we looked at the window. But no, instead on this day, we saw a security guard just sitting in his little golf cart, positioned right outside of the gym. And, you know, there was a large amount of kids in this hallway at this time, you know, because everyone would leave through this hallway. And there were about 7 other kids just standing there, talking to each other like, is this guy gonna leave? What are we gonna do? He's right there. We can't. And so me and my friend just like look at each other and we're like, yeah, we're gonna bullshit this. And so we just walked past like this group of kids who were planning on leaving, but didn't want to get caught by the security guard. We just walk out and the security guard stops us. And he stops us and says, hey, what do you guys think you're doing? Are you leaving school early? Are you trying to ditch homeroom? And my friend, who actually didn't have a last hour class, was like, oh no, don't worry, sir. I only have 5 hours. I'm a senior. I'm just leaving with my friend here. And so he like looks at me and he's like, oh, do you not have a last hour as well? And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. And he's like, alright, just wait here. I need both of your guys' names, and I'm going to call up to the front office and make sure that neither of you have a last hour. And so my friend John gives him his name, and he goes to me and asks my name, and I gave him a bullshit name of someone who I absolutely knew did not have a last hour. And he goes back towards the front office, and as we saw the golf cart pulling away, we had walked back inside the gym at this point when he was like calling in. He actually drove away from the gym and went towards the front office. And when we noticed this, like all the 7 people who were still there, and I think a few more people had shown up by this time, wanting to leave, but there was a security guard there and no one else had the balls to walk out and try and get past him, because, well, we were seniors, we were graduating in fucking month anyway, we didn't give a shit. So everyone just, like, sees him leave, and we're just like, oh, he left. And at that very moment, everyone made a mad dash and ran to their cars, basically. So me and my friend John get into mine, we're pulling out, we're driving away, and, we go towards the front of the school where the, front office is, and we see the security guard sitting there at the corner with his golf cart, just staring, watching as all these cars of all the kids that were sitting inside the gym hallway are pulling out. And we just, like, lock eyes as we, like, drive past. And he's like, oh, you guys are dicks. But we drove away and, didn't have to face any kind of repercussions for it, so that was pretty cool. We enjoyed the rest of our day, He probably enjoyed his, probably spent the rest of the day sitting outside of that gym hallway. And from that point on, I had to find an alternate route to leave school from. Because, he was always sitting just outside that hallway. Now, that entire story aside, guys, I don't encourage that you ditch school, leave school at any time, It's a pretty bad thing to do that, If you get caught, it could get you in major trouble. And I don't want that happening to any of my viewers, okay? I don't encourage that. Don't do as I do, just enjoy the fuck-ups of my past, okay? That being said, though, guys, I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. I would love a new addition to the Snake Army. Now that my video's over, why don't you check out another person's channel? Why not Chubbs, for instance? He's almost at 7,000 subscribers. He has really good stuff. You should really check him out. He's growing at an insane rate. I hope you guys do enjoy him. And if you don't want to, I have yesterday's video playing right now. But again, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next episode tomorrow. Whiplash signing out.